be backlit, and then it plunked me into, right, it's just the DOS prompt, not scary. I can go in, put in PQMethod, and I can, right, enter my project name, right, so I could do this one, so intro 2012, it can only do 8, so, oops, no, all right, so it's just going to be intro 20. It doesn't really know what a backspace or any of those things. That's okay. You can hit enter. It's not really intro that, but that's okay. And now I can do things like I want to start with my study. I could do one for statements, and it'll start a very ugly blue screen, right? Which, right, older arts here. You could retype all your statements in here. Usually what I do, I'll show you how I cheat. That's not really cheating. I act to save this file. I'm going to go back. Here's my PQMethod. I actually go in and I take all my statements from my Excel file. And so I can come down here, whatever I called this. I called it intro. Oh, there it is, intro 20, right? and there it is, right? So I am, but I don't have any other files. Usually what I do is I have my statements and I open, I have to find one. It's the STA file. Right, so this is for a math, I don't remember which one this is. So all I did, this is WordPad, it's just a text editor. So, but it's a Windows program, so I can go in Excel and copy my statements and come in here and paste them. We love copy and paste, right? I always tell my programming students that they have no idea how lucky they are. When I learned computer programming, I had cards, and I could still make a drum card, right? But we had to type things, and if you screwed up, right, you took the card out, and you started all over again. Right? But now we have copy and paste. So we don't want to use the ugly DOS window. We want to just do copy, paste in here, right? You can open files like this, right? Sometimes you just have to right-click on them, right? And, well, it's not going to let me do a whole bunch of these because it'll just flip out. But right, just open with WordPad, so you can do open as, and you're all set. There's the ugly blue screen. But I'm not going to do anything in here, so I just have to do Alt-X, and it just takes me out, right, because it's from way back when. Yes, ma'am. You know what? I have never used PCQ. Didn't I just see Mike Strickland coming here? Oh, and he left. He'd be the one to ask. So I've never used PCQ. I've been in a PQMethod. All right, so now I could do, right, so say I put my statements in, and now I want to do enter the title of my study. This one, 68 characters is usually actually more than I like to use. So Introduction to Q Workshop I4S 2012. Okay. It just prints that out at the top of your printout. It's very Fortran-esque. Right? How many Q statements are there? There's 44. Right? Enter the leftmost column. So in our study, I think it was -5. Right? And then the rightmost column. Here's something you have to be careful about. Do not put a plus. Why there's no plus sign there. It'll flip it out. Just 5. And then enter the number of rows for each column. What did I have? 4 each. So I have to do 4 each. So I have to think, right, so -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you screw up, it'll tell you. It's smart enough to know that you can't count to, in this case, 44. Right? And now I'm ready to add a sort. right? So I can just do add a sort, and this could be, right, person 1, because I feel really original. Sometimes I put some demographic information in, and I just start putting them in. I just have a laptop, but if you're a cashier, it goes a lot faster, right? 2 plus, I can do it that way pretty darn fast, but not this way. Oh, no, I'm actually faster this way. The key, do not hit enter, but if you do, it's okay, because it has forgiveness built in, and so you just have a space. I don't think it doesn't like commas, probably. I know that, like in my C programming class, if it expects things to come in with a space, if you go and put crazy things like commas in, it doesn't like it. And so literally I just go and I put them all in. We'll find out if they have anything missing. I've sworn I'm going to have my children start doing data entry. Try not to put things in front of us. See, this is the very exciting. I recommend, like I said, the keyboard with the keypad. And, some good music. That's always good. Helps it pass the time. Or, like I said, kids could be good at this. And this is pretty much what it is. I always say that one day I will get grant money and have a program where, you could have people sort online or something. And right. So the sum is 0, right? And what that means is, right, all is okay, right? There's my little grid. Do I want to change it in any way? Right? I could just for fun, right? I know I'm almost out of time, but, right? So I did want to say, I wanted to say yes. Hey, do I want to enter another sort? No, not right now. And so it goes, right? I can then just add another sort. When I'm done, right? I follow the little menu, X, right? And now I could have choices for rotating and centroid, but I only have one sort in here, so I can't do any of that today. All right. We'll make it click in one more time. Factor analysis of Q sorts represents correlation of the sorts, true or false. You ready? It's not a trick question. True, yay. See, it's not scary. You guys already, right? So factors in Q are just highly correlated people or their sorts, right? Groups of similar sorts are factors, right? And they basically, it's pattern recognition. So it's very mathematical. They love that, right? Only those who are flagged on a factor help describe that factor in the analyses, right? And it creates a very fun and happens to be the printout from oh, that's interesting. Cancel. Right, this is a printout from the first time I used these statements, right, for my introduction Q workshop at the University of Akron. Right, they got to pick their own name. Right, so they could identify their sort. So that's why there's some things that say smile and other great things. I take my list files because I play, and so this one is entitled Centroid Extraction Only Two-Factor Solution. So usually I play around with the centroid and factors and what does this look like, and I save it multiple times, and I go and I look at the printout, and I figure out the one that makes the most sense, basically. And then I print them as PDFs because I like PDFs, and I go and I comment them. So this is this study, right? Here's my little factor matrix, right? We had 9 people in the class, 2 people were on factor 2, and the other 7 were on factor 1. I won't go through all the analyses because that's my lead into the next presentation. But one of the things that we realized, and my students all did their own factor analysis, but it seemed like that pretty much there were two groups, right? There were the researcher groups who all were PhD candidates, and then the two people on factor 2 were the two master's degree students who, in the summer of 2010, took this course because it fulfilled a requirement for them. And so they had a very different set of expectations, right, and views about research and learning. What they wanted was something that they could use. Okay, but how am I going to use this in my classroom? That was kind of their thing. The PhD students, not too surprising, were more interested in research and basically how will this help me with my dissertation in my future, maybe as an academic researcher, right? So very different views, but we could describe those views, right? So it wasn't enough to just look at this, and usually I'll tell you demographics are not necessarily a great deal. Should be. But anyway, so this is basically the printout, and right, it helps us describe those views, but like I said, that's the next group, right? For more information about Q, right, there's kind of I'll say the classic references. PQMethod.org website is super awesome. It has lots of fabulous resources. You can get the link to Steve Brown's Political Subjectivity, right? It's a downloadable PDF, right? You can search it as a searchable PDF, right? It's like a lot of megabytes, but well worth the download. So I encourage everybody to go up to the website. It's more than just a place to find the conference program. And that's it. Thank you. I have one more. So if you're interested in that Excel spreadsheet, just me at Ramlo@UAkron, and I can email that to you.
Just a very quick thank you very much. April Stevenson, who is, of course, one of Dr. Stevenson's daughters, would like to make